The Run with Manny Wilson podcast is brought to you by Fifth Investments. Sports betting is cool, but you can really get the most out of your money trading in the stock market. You can make money when stocks go up, and you can make money when stocks go down. But all you need is a little guidance. So use the Fifth Investment Stock Trading Journal to help you get started right away. Fifth Investments is a fantastic resource for daily trade ideas, market analysis, news, and information for navigating the stock market. They got you covered with long-term, short-term, options trading, and more. So go to fiftinvestments.com and use the promo code THERUN for $20 off your premier membership, or just sign up for free. Trade the stock market and perfect a skill that's going to last you a lifetime.
The information is not trading or investment advice. The newsletter is only a personal blog that is being offered publicly for general information purposes only.
Come on now, seriously, in terms of who could really predict that, the Warriors will be down 3-1? Hell no, I'm not going for it that you just knew that was the case.
Now tuned into the greatest.
The Run with Manny Wilson podcast.
The Run with Manny Wilson podcast.
The best sports podcast there is.
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. I appreciate you tuning in to the first interactive sports podcast, a community that makes sure your voice is heard. So if you hear something you don't like throughout the episode, give us a call at 219-413-9405. Or even if you hear something you disagree with or just want to outsmart me, go ahead, give us a call at 219-413-9405. But look, it's a lot going on in the NBA playoffs right now. Man, everybody is on the brink of elimination. You got 4 different teams on the brink of elimination at this point. And the most exciting one and the most surprising one is actually probably the Golden State Warriors, the defending champs. They're down 3-1 against the Lakers, a play-in team. What the hell? Like, this is crazy. And I'll be the first to admit, I ain't gonna lie to you. In the beginning of the season, I remember I said the Lakers are going back. I said the Lakers and the Bucks. Of course, I didn't forget. But oh well, who cares? I was wrong. Whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm just shocked for the fact that it's the Lakers out of all teams that has the Warriors down 3-1. And because I'll give credit to the Lakers too. And the Lakers fans out there, I apologize. You're going to hear me say that a couple times, actually, because I gave y'all hell at the trade deadline. When you got rid of Westbrook, you brought in D'Angelo Russell, you brought in Vanderbilt, and you brought in Roy as well. Y'all had some pieces there that was questionable for me. I'm not going to lie to you, but I could never expect this to be the case. I just couldn't. And you can't possibly sit here and tell me that you knew full heart, you knew just in your soul that the Lakers was going to take down the Golden State Warriors. You cannot tell me that. Ain't no way. Put all of the fandom aside to how much you like LeBron or how much you like Anthony Davis or how much you like the Lakers. Put all the fandom aside and just take a second to look at the reality here of what the Golden State Warriors have. The settings, the given circumstances of this matchup was just very, very in favor of the Golden State Warriors for me. I mean, come on now. Seriously, the Warriors have the same exact team from last year, which they won a championship with. Steph Curry was healthy. Clay has been rolling. Draymond was Draymond. And then Wiggs finally came back, and he was playing pretty good as well. So come on now, seriously, in terms of who could really predict that, the Warriors will be down 3-1? Hell no, I'm not going for it that you just knew that was the case. I'm not going for it. You got to at least admit, if I'm apologizing to the Lakers fans out there for saying, I thought y'all was going to be done first round, you got to at least give me the benefit of the doubt and saying, you know what, this does sound kind of crazy that I said the Lakers was going to go to the finals, or, it does sound kind of crazy. Because truthfully, that's just not, come on now. It just don't line up. But the Lakers, they lead the series 3-1. Long story short, they lead the series 3-1. And I highly doubt that the Warriors are coming back from 3-1. Against any other team in the league, against anybody else in this Western Conference, I would possibly give the Warriors a chance. But because it's LeBron James that they're going against, Anthony Davis healthy as well with the Lakers that they're going against, I cannot possibly give the Warriors a benefit of the doubt of actually winning this series, coming back from 3-1 and winning this series. It sounds foolish, especially when they're going against a guy who's played them continuously in the finals. LeBron has played this Warriors team more than anybody in the finals, and he knows this Warriors team better than anybody else to play the game of basketball. He's beaten this Warriors team. He's lost to this Warriors team. He's played this Warriors team with KD. He's played this Warriors team without KD. So if anybody knows what the Warriors can do, it's definitely LeBron James, the leader of the Los Angeles Lakers. And also, too, Anthony Davis ain't going for all of that. He's not going for all of that. He's been playing great. He's not going for that. And I can tell you right now, LeBron damn sure ain't going for that because he's 17-0 anytime he's led a series 3-1 in the playoffs. That history is not going to change right now. That first loss in that 17-0 column of leading the series 3-1 is not going to change this year. Warriors, they're the Warriors. Obviously, we know what they can do, but you have to admit they've been very inconsistent at times, just like we seen in Game 4. Game 4 was a matchup that was not a matchup, but Game 4 was a game that the Warriors actually could have pulled off. It was in arm's reach. It was right there. And I'm not saying they lost because of what Draymond did in terms of the turnover at the end of the game. I'm not saying they lost because Steph Curry missed threes. Obviously, those things are reasons that they lost. But more specifically, Steph was a one-man band out there. That wasn't helpful for the Warriors in terms of trying to pull this game home. He was a one-man band. When you had Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and Andrew Wiggins, 3 players that didn't get more than 6 points in the fourth quarter of that game. 3 players didn't get more than 6 points the whole fourth quarter, and they all played the entire 12 minutes of the fourth quarter. So I don't know what else describes that Steph Curry was out there on his own more than that. Jordan Poole was fucking 0 for 9. Like, come on now. It does not get worse than this. And I give Steph his credit because he kept them in the game, but it was in arm's reach. All he needed was an extra 3 from Klay. All he needed was an extra rebound from Draymond, an extra point from Draymond, an extra point from Wiggs. You had 3 people. Look at this, man. 3 people, 2, 2, and 2. That's 6 right there. They couldn't even get that. They had less than 6 points between 3 key players on the Warriors team. And that's just a damn shame to me, man. That's a damn shame. If that doesn't tell you anything, that tells you that Steph Curry was out there by his damn self. And I know I'll be the first to admit Steph needed help this game, but I don't want to hear any arguments about, oh, Steph doesn't have help. He had the help. They just didn't show up because there was many times throughout LeBron's career where he had the help, but they just didn't show up. And people gave him hell for saying, oh, he didn't have help. Or they gave people hell for saying, oh, there was no help for LeBron. When in reality, there was help, but they just didn't show up. And it's the same situation for Steph right now. He has the help. You have 4-time champions on your team. 2 of them. You have 2 4-time champions on your team. They just didn't show up in the game. You have a 2-time champ, or what's Wiggs? I think he 1 time. You have another NBA champion on your team. Jordan Poole is an NBA champion on your team, but they just didn't show up. So he has the help there. They just didn't show up and help him out when he needed. So that's my thoughts on it. The Warriors are probably cooked at this point. So we got a voicemail though. Someone did give us a call. And then let's go ahead and play this and let's hear what they got to say. Let's do it.
Hello, I'd like to leave a hot take. My hot take is that the Lakers really suck.
Oh, whoa, that's kind of crazy.
Series is over in 5. Let's go.
Whoa, this shit. You know what? No. Let me check. I gotta check because this is crazy. They down 3-1. So the Warriors is down 3-1. Okay, that's why. This was Saturday. And Saturday was the game the Lakers ended up taking the lead in the series. They won that game and gave them the lead in the series 2-1. So it was still 1-1 when this was sent. Because it looks like before the game too. So, oh my gosh, that aged terribly. that aged terribly. And it wasn't intentional, but damn, that aged terribly. Woo, but he's right about one thing. I will say, you are right about one thing. The series very much may be over in 5. The series very much may be over in 5 because I highly doubt LeBron and AD are going to like hold back in this game 5 to close out the Warriors. It just does not sound like something they will do. And LeBron, he knows the ins and outs of the Warriors, and he knows that he cannot keep giving this team any chances. So I highly doubt that they'll hold back anything. I wouldn't be surprised if LeBron ended up playing 48 minutes, to be honest, or if AD ended up playing 48 minutes just to make sure they close this game out. So it's tough. What's crazy is I'm surprised Boots didn't leave a voicemail. If you listen occasionally, you know who that is, obviously. But he left a voicemail last week, and he said Lakers in 6, which is crazy because I'm just thinking about this. He was right about the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. He said that shit way, way back before the season even started, and the Chiefs ended up winning the Super Bowl. And then now he said Lakers winning 6. Said it before the season started, or said it before the series actually started, before game 1. I give him his credit. And then what the hell? Lakers actually might win in 6. It's just kind of crazy. It's just kind of crazy. Even though I think the Lakers may try and close it out in 5, and it's possible they can close it out in 5. But it's just, that's mind-blowing. That's something that's nuts. So it's kudos to Boots, man. That's nuts. But look, there's another series, too, that really has my eye right now, and that's the 76ers and the Boston Celtics. Now, the Celtics, they're getting mollywopped in this series, especially the past few games. The Sixers, they lead the series 3-2. They ended up winning Game 5 last night. It was a great matchup. Celtics did change some things. But more importantly, man, I got to give kudos to the 76ers because they've been balling. We seen Game 4, James Harden snapped. 42 points, only 1 turnover, had a great amount of assists as well. He snapped in Game 4. We know that. 9 assists, 8 rebounds. Absolutely impressive. He did his thing. He willed his way to that win in Game 4, as you remember. But Game 5 was all Joel Embiid as the Sixers needed. Harden was still there to distribute and make plays and help them out, but Embiid was really the key factor here. Had 33.7 rebounds. You cannot forget about Tyrese Maxey. He went off in Game 5 as well. Had another 30 points and 7 rebounds to add in that Game 5. But there was a lot of different things from the Celtics that they could have fixed outside of going bucket for bucket for the 76ers, man. The first thing that starts with the Boston Celtics is these bad starts that they have. What's up with that? And more specifically is Jason Tatum, to be honest, because he's the one that's been starting these games 0 for 5, 1 for 9, 0 for 7. Like, that's a trash start. And you cannot allow yourself to have to play from behind that way. I don't care how many times he finishes the game with 30 points or how many quarters he ends up putting 25 up in or 25 points in a single quarter. All of that stuff, it's cool. But ultimately, you're digging yourself into a hole when you start the game this way. When you start the game 0 for 5, 0 for 9, it's not helpful. You're playing from behind right away. And if the 76ers continue to play how they've been playing, it's not going to be beneficial at all because they've shown that they can go bucket for bucket with you in crunch time. They've shown when they have a lead, they're going to control the pace. Credit to James Harden. He's going to control the pace and make sure his team is still staying afloat and keeping the lead that they have. Credit to the 76ers. They've been playing amazing. But bad starts is something that's really hurting the Boston Celtics right now. And a lot of that bad starting stuff is really with Jason Tatum. But let's not get something confused either. Because Jaylen Brown, he's not off the hook either. Jaylen Brown, he's been playing rough as well. Game 5, I'll give him a pass. He played a lot better than what he played in Game 4 and Game 3. But something I noticed with him is that he becomes extremely passive toward the end of the games. There's not usually that duo that we see between Tatum and Brown at the end of the games, especially when the game is close and in hand's reach. That's not the case because in Game 1, Jaylen Brown, extremely passive in the second half. He only attempted 3 shots the entire second half. And what star on any team is only going to shoot the ball 3 times in the second half? Game 4, another game that they lost, he only attempted 5 shots the entire second half, including overtime. So what star is doing that? That's hurting your team. If you're a player, a key player on this team, you understand and you should know that what you do on the court in terms of how aggressive you are on the offensive end really allows your role players to get rolling. It allows the Marcus Smarts to make open threes. It allows the Brogdons to make open threes. Al Horford's to get the easy buckets and making open threes. But if you're not aggressive, that changes everything. And I'm all for rolling with the hot hand with Jason Tatum because he was the one that was really kind of going off in that game 4 when JT was a little passive. But also, man, you got to get your shots. You got to get your shots. You got to, man. You absolutely have to. And it's a key factor for the Celtics. Also, too, last thing, between the bad starts and these passive play toward the end of the game from one of the other duos or from one of the other stars included in that dynamic duo, Celtics have to play better defense. They're getting ran out the gym. I mean, damn it, they're getting ran out the gym, man. As a team, they got to do way better in terms of playing defense. I've seen multiple schemes that they've thrown at Philly, but Philly has also done a great job at adjusting. And y'all know how I feel about Doc Rivers, so I don't know if this is on him or just Embiid and Harden as a whole, but I've noticed that they've been playing great as well. So based on the play within this series, I think that the 76ers are going to take it in 6. Honestly, they got 6 at home. When they go back this next game 5 or this game 6 here, it's going to be at home. So I truthfully believe that the Sixers are going to take it in 6 just because the Celtics have not been playing very well. They've been very inconsistent within the stars on the defensive end. Things that we praised the Celtics for last year, we're not seeing the same consistency this year. So to me, I say the Philadelphia 76ers are definitely going to take it in 6. Now, look, man, we got some more stuff coming up as well, man. We got some news for the run here. Obviously, the 76ers series is done. I predicted that already in 6 games. But the Phoenix Suns, Denver Nuggets series, we'll touch on that as well. Denver leads the series 3-2. Miami Heat, they have a closeout game as well. They lead the Knicks 3-1. So we'll touch on all that stuff in just a second when we take a quick break. All right, news for the run. Starting off with the NHL playoffs, the Carolina Hurricanes, they beat the Devils in game 4, 6-1. And the Hurricanes, they now lead the series 3-1. The Dallas Stars beat Kraken last night, 6-3, to tie the series 2-2. And tonight, you can catch the Maple Leafs playing the Panthers in game 4. The Florida Panthers have a chance to close out the series tonight in a sweep as they lead 3-2. And going to the Golden Knights, they'll also take on the Oilers in game 4 tonight. The Vegas Golden Knights, they lead the series 2-1. And moving on to the MLB, the Tampa Bay Rays, they lost to the Orioles last night 4-2. They split the series 1-1 so far, but you can catch game 3 tonight. The Cincinnati Reds, they beat the Mets 7-6. The Yankees, they smacked up the Athletics, winning 10-5. The Red Sox couldn't get enough going to stop the Braves as Atlanta won 9-3. The White Sox, they beat the Royals 4-2. Dodgers, they beat the Brewers 6-2. Cubs, they fell short to the Guardians, losing 6-4. Astros, they beat the Angels, and the Mariners beat the Rangers. Now we got the NBA playoffs for tonight. There's a couple of closeout games. The Lakers, they have a chance to get rid of the defending champs in game 5 tonight as they lead the series 3-1. And Miami Heat, they also have a chance to clean out the trash in New York for game 5 as they lead the series 3-1. And now I know I mentioned too the Phoenix Suns and the Denver Nuggets here. The Nuggets, they lead this series 3-2. In Denver, they won game 5. But I'm starting to kind of notice a pattern within this series here for the Suns and the Denver Nuggets. And I like what I'm seeing so far, but I've noticed the key factor in deciding the game of who's going to win next and who's going to win this one is really the bench production. Because in game 4, I noticed too, the Suns, they had a whole lot of bench production. They had 40 points off the bench alone on top of Devin Booker's big night and Kevin Durant's wonderful performance as well. But that really propelled them to win that game 4. And then in game 5 here, Denver obviously won, as I just mentioned, but they had a huge amount of bench production for game 5 as well. You had Bruce Brown coming off the bench, really going crazy. KCP really did his thing off the bench, was extremely helpful down the stretch and in crucial points of the game here. And then something I mentioned too that Denver needed to do better in game 5, and they did. They corrected themselves, was I noticed that they needed to shoot a lot better. Going into game 5, prior to that, they shot 7 for 22 in game 4. And the majority of their points came from in the paint. There were 72 out of 124 points in game 4 that came from the paint. And it was just Nikola Jokic, pretty much. So if you didn't watch that game, just know it was Nikola Jokic. He had 53 and he was going off. He did his thing, but he couldn't really get help from his supporting cast. That was completely different in game 5. They made their threes. The bench was there. They capitalized on the defensive end, and they ran those boys out the gym, to be honest. They really just ran the Phoenix Suns out the gym. They made a lot of threes. Jokic hit his. Michael Porter Jr. hit 5 of his threes, as the Denver Nuggets need out of him and usually expect out of him. Murray hit a few of his threes. KCP hit a few threes. Bruce Brown hit a few threes. They were clicking. I'll put it that way. They were clicking on all cylinders. And as I mentioned, bench production, it can be more than just points, because they really showed up on the defensive end too. They gave a lot of solid effort. But to really focus on the Suns and some things I noticed that they need to fix. Obviously, the bench production is the main thing that they need to fix. Get some more effort out of those guys. But effort was really the main thing that I've noticed with the Phoenix Suns in this game. And they were trailing most of the game, but a lot of times they gave up a lot of fast break points with little effort to stop that opportunity. Denver had 31 fast break points, which was huge for them, but they ran them out of the gym. And a lot of times on these fast break points, a majority of guys from the Suns were not getting back to even give effort on stopping the play. To me, that's a how bad do you want to win it type of thing. KD is going to get his. We know that. D-Book is going to get his. You know that. But the thing, that's not a question to me. I know offensively the Phoenix Suns are going to be all right. Whatever. Sometimes they struggle. They have slumps. Whatever. But the thing to me that's going to set them apart in actually winning games is the defensive effort and the bench production. As I keep saying, I know that's extremely pivotal in this game. But to me, that's something that's huge. And honestly, it's going to be the deciding factor for game 6 in this matchup. Denver goes back to Phoenix to play this game 6, but they have a chance to close it out in 7. And that's kind of scary. They're going to need that game 6, obviously, if they want to stay alive. But even going back to Denver in game 7 is going to be tough, because Denver's 6-0 at home in the playoffs, 40-7 overall at home throughout the season. And if it comes down to it, I'm thinking Denver is going to win in 7. I don't think they'll lose 2 games in a row, because the series has been a lot of back and forth. It's been a lot of correcting mistakes, which is great. And I love watching that in a basketball game. But I don't think they're going to lose 2 games in a row, especially that game 7 at home. Now, as far as the New York Knicks and the Miami Heat here, I'm going to just say this about this series, man. Let's do this about this series. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Let's wrap this up. Let's wrap this up, Miami Heat. Game 5 is tonight. They lead the series 3-1. Jimmy Butler has been playing great, 25-plus points in the last 9 playoff games of his career. He's been doing his thing. Let's just go ahead and get this out the way. The Heat are another play-in team that's came a long way. But the Knicks, to me, they've lost their soul. They've gotten the brakes beat off of them these last few games. The only game they stole was the game Jimmy Butler did not play. And what was that, game 2? And they still barely won that game. Like, let's wrap this up, man. Let's get this out the way here. Jalen Brunson, he been hooping. He's been doing his thing. But also, too, the other guys on the team, they got to continue to help him out. They've been balling. It's just they don't play enough defense to really stop the Miami Heat. And they're just not giving enough effort to stop the Miami Heat. In that last game of game 4, Miami, they doubled the amount of second chance points that the New York Knicks had. And to me, watching this game, I'm looking at it and I'm like, damn, it just looks like they playing keep away. Like if you put the image in your head of like an older brother bullying a younger sibling to like playing keep away, like, oh no, you can't get the ball. I got it over here. I got it high up on, raising his arm in the air. I got it high up. Like, you can't get the ball. That's what it looked like, man, because shot after shot, Miami was getting the board. They go back. If they missed, they grabbed it again. If they missed, they grabbed it again, or this time they made it. And then Knicks just did not have an answer for that. So to me, let's go ahead and wrap this series up, man. Let's get it. Come on, man. Let's wrap this up. But other than that, that's all I got for y'all, man, in terms of these playoffs. Go ahead, share your take. Give us a thought, 219-413-9405. Let us know what you think about these playoffs matchups, especially these closeout games. Can you predict the series that's going to happen next for the conference finals of each matchup? I don't know. I don't think I can, truthfully. But I don't know. I'll leave that to you. You guys know a lot too. So go ahead, give yourself some credit. Give us a call if you have a take, 219-413-9405. In other words, too, I appreciate you for tuning in. Share this with a cousin, a brother, an uncle, an aunt, a niece, a nephew, a coworker, a neighbor, anybody you know. I promise you they will not mind, especially if I talked about their team. But until then, I appreciate you for however you're listening, whether it's on Spotify, iPodcast, iHeartRadio, TheRunUSA.com, or even on YouTube. Until then, we will be back later on next week, and so on and so on and so on. The Run with Manny Wilson podcast is brought to you by Fifth Investments. Investing is the easiest way to double your money, especially when you do it right. Most of us need help with getting started, right? I'm telling you right now, Fifth Investments is the easiest way to take your first step. You can sign up for the daily trading journal, weekly newsletter, including trade ideas, market analysis, news, and information on navigating the stock market. They got you covered with long-term, short-term, options trading, and more. So go to fiftinvestments.com and use the promo code THERUN for $20 off your premier membership, or just sign up for free. Trade the stock market and perfect a skill that's going to last you a lifetime.
The information is not trading or investment advice. The newsletter is only a personal blog that is being offered publicly for general information purposes only.